And you don't speak Swedish, but
No,
Gabriela
sorry.
is a filmmaker and Makode is an artist.
Yeah.
And they make very interesting art. And been speaking a bit about including people that are not usually included, and also to make people see new things and question themselves in what they're looking at, which connects very well with your speech here. So what do you say as artists about...
I love how we partly showed the same pictures.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite parts, and talked about totally different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Helen Brown's view on arts and the connection between critical thinking and arts? Gabriela?
Well, I would like to have the slides again and bring them home with me and just read the books that you.
There is a lot of information
Yeah.
there in a very short space
Yes.
of time.
But still, I like even if I work more hands-on, I like the way of going inside and going outside of what I'm doing, and also to have a theoretical aspect of it, and it brings me some kind of it gives me a kind of I don't know. It's fun to just look upon it from the outside as well, and it's very interesting, and I want to read more. Thanks.
You were talking a little bit about the need for optimism. Do you think all the three of you, do you think there is a way to look optimistic on the position of arts in our society today and what it could mean for democracy?
I think we must define optimism to be able to answer that question.
Okay, but do you think that art have an important role to play, gets an important role to play in the democratic discussions in our
just
society?
from watching your slides and hearing you talk, it really feeded my nerve of artist superiority to be like, yeah, artists are more developed than other people. Like, I had this feeling all along. Sorry. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's more subtle, isn't it, than putting a piece of art into the world and expecting the world to change. I think art permeates culture in quite a slow way, and the ideas feed through quite organically.
But you were speaking about imagination and art as a way to, develop your critical thinking, also to look at the world from different points of view. And I think that's what you both are doing in different ways. So if you talk about art in that way, do all the three of you think that in this point in the history of Europe, when there are a lot of forces that actually wants to shut down some of the free speech, etc., do you think that art can still work as this force to open up the imagination and the critical thinking?
Well, yes, but it's always a problem when you see art as the only that it should be the only mission with art. I think it's you have to be because it still has to be just well. If I say it like this, if you have a moralistic way of seeing at art, that it's only for good purposes, or it's only there for building the society, then we have a problem. And I guess art is supposed to be free and to pick stuff up and also to change things, or just to be obnoxious, or and be a mixture of all that.
I think.
Yes, Helen.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think it can work at a very grassroots level in transforming our capacity to be able to think and interact with the world. So from an educational level, that's the way that I would see that working, which is a slow feed.
Yep.
But I think if you look at what's happening in England at the moment, I would say that there's an ideology and an attitude towards education which is almost about diseducation, and where the arts are being oppressed. And I think that says a lot about the country and the state that it's in and the way that it's governed at the moment.
Okay, so it's more like a sign of something going on in society, that the art is not very,
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, but you were talking about art as that you have to defend it in those ways that is very good for the, learning process, etc. Do you feel that you have to talk about art in the way that Gabriela is a bit critical of, that it's, good for something, or it's fills a purpose, certain purpose?
I think it's almost a human right that people should have people have evolved using art. It's a kind of natural thing for humans to do. So I don't know if that answers your question very well.
But you don't feel that you have to defend the existence of art in England right now with those arguments?
People are asked to defend the existence of art in a time of austerity when, the health system is under threat, education is under threat. So everybody asks, why should we pay for art? So there is a need to defend it in every way possible at the moment in England.
But Makode, you've been working with us different subjects or themes around race and racism, etc. Do you feel that you actually are working like political when you do art?
Yeah, of course I feel that I'm working political. But what I was thinking about the previous question was that if you work with visual art, at least, or I think any art, you get used to turning concepts inside out and like playing with different symbols and not staying too married to your ideas, right? And I think this is a very like flexible and partly holistic project, intuitive. And I think everyone could benefit from this, of course, in the thinking like you showed in your slides. And your question was, sorry.
Did you when you work as an artist, do you think that you also work politically?
Yes, obviously. Yeah.
And why did you choose to do that? Why did you also choose to work politically through art?
Well, I guess it's also like being an artist is a very selfish practice. You have all this time that you can spend on your interests and thinking about yourself, basically, and whatever you want to think about. So this is a very, very selfish process. And you have to do that, I think, as an artist, to like introspect. But in all of that, to give it some sort of legitimacy, for me, it worked doing something that also could have an interest to others. So it turns political.
You were talking a bit before about how you like take known pictures or images and then you do something with them, change them to make the viewer react and see something new. Do you think that that's like a way to open up the new fields of imagination in the viewer's minds?
I was very happy when you brought up the slides of these different versions of creativity, because like I already pointed out that my kind of creativity that is usually the easiest one, combining two known concepts, and thereby being able to create a little gap of something new in people's minds or my own.
But do you think that imagination is like a tool against intolerance?
Yes.
In what way can art work with that? Because I guess art could also, create greater intolerance. It depends on what kind of art you meet.
Can art create intolerance?
Well, there are like racist.
No, I think
art
actually people create intolerance very good on themselves. I don't think you can blame art for creating intolerance. I think that's wrong.
There's art and there's the art world, isn't there? So there's a selection by the art world, which I suppose theoretically could create intolerance.
I'm sorry, but this is like saying that Jews created Nazism or something. It's just stupid and wrong.
Oh, but just take like stereotype images. You can meet them, and I know maybe they don't create intolerance, but they kind of support it. And
But art needs to be completely free and do whatever it needs to do, doesn't it?
But people create the meaning of the art, so you cannot say that art in itself creates intolerance. It's the people who put the meaning into the art that can use it for promoting their fascist ideas or whatever, but the art in itself is not fascist.
But you were talking, Gabriela Pichler, a bit about how the images you met as a kid growing up and the films you met were actually, picturing not the kind of people that you knew or your family. How important is that for you to like create a new kind of world and make other people be able to identify?
Yeah, it's very important, but also the way of working is important for me. I guess I have I'm quite the thing is with my art is that I invite people who are often first-time actors and people who regularly not. They have other jobs than this, and I have to coordinate the whole working process around for them, and so they get a tolk. Translator if they don't know the Swedish language as good as the rest of them. I teach them how to act in front of a camera or stuff like that, and it's almost creating a social project. So for me, even if it's a personal drive, and I have these like it's for me as well. I mean, I get the what's it called? My English is so bad
Kreativt
today.
utlopp.
Yes, and all the good words and afterwards and stuff like that. But still, it's quite of a social project as well for me, because it's a collective process in that kind of sense. Yeah.
And you were talking about the importance that looking at making art, not as something that a talent that you're born with, but a cognitive, something that you can develop. It's a bit close to Gabriela's way of working with her films. Why is that important for, like, is it a democratic value? In what way?
Because if it's a cognitive process, it can be taught. If you think it's just innate and we're born with it. I mean, I think that everything is a mixture of nature and nurture, that we are born with slightly different capacities for different things. But I do think that art is a cognitive process. It's about thinking, and therefore it can be developed and nurtured. And you can also oppress it.
But when you're speaking about imagination and the importance of art, is it like making art or just experiencing
I think
art?
both things do lots of the same things in your mind. So both things are about a decision-making process, about weighing up options, about kind of making connections between different things, exploiting the gaps between things. So I think lots of the mental processes are very similar. They're both critical processes, and they're both creative processes, in that an active interpretation is about cohering a meaning for yourself. And that's really what you're doing when you make a piece of art as well. It's about cohering something in a meaningful way.
What is your view on this, on like understanding or getting, into art? So it's something, a process that you can learn. Is that something that you can?
Definitely.
Anyway, I believe we have everything to benefit from believing that, even if it's not true. So
There's like an old romantic idea about an artist just, being this genius person that born like that.
Yeah, and often a male genius person.
white,
White male.
genius person.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I can only agree, and you too, because if we don't believe in that, then everything will continue as usual. And for me, it's like it's all about working hard. It's working hard and having a system around you that expects you to succeed in some kind of way. I mean, with the school system in Sweden that's free for higher education, that's a very kind way of saying we believe in you. We put an effort in you. We give you money so you can fulfill your dreams, and I like that.
But I do see a big difference, though. I mean, just maybe not on a personal level for anyone being able to find joy in making music or creating pictures or whatever, but I do notice a slight difference from, like, let's say, music consumers and people who produce music. After a couple of years, when you produce music, you start listening differently, and I think maybe artists go through a bit of the same process, or filmmakers. Once you get really nerdy into your specific thing, you just start looking for other things than maybe the general consumer, and this sort of have you drift away, possibly, from the general view or the general approach, and makes you like nerdy and specialized.
Yeah, it's an expertise, isn't it? Yeah, you can develop it further and further.
Yeah. But if you look just finally at like the big picture, in Sweden at least, many different culture events, art shows and theater shows, etc., have become the subject of really, heated political discussions. But at the same time, the society doesn't give much money for art. It's like a double picture that is very important in one way. It's a symbolic question and not very important when it comes to the economic. I don't know if you have the same experience in England. That it looks like it's when you discuss.
I expect it's worse.
Sorry.
I expect it's worse because of austerity in England at the moment. There is very little funding for the arts, and lots of provision was cut quite drastically. So
But don't you think this also has to do with the sort of that in the core of the arts is immaterial values, and those things we treasure the most have immaterial values, which expect some people to have it for free.
Yeah. And it still gets all those really important
I mean, you can't
immaterial
pay for
values as
love,
well,
and
right?
you can't pay for genius or whatever, right?
I mean, in England, the arts are often treated as a luxury. So if you look at the history of arts education in England, you'll see that there are governments that come in. The right-wing governments think that arts are a luxury which only the rich need to have access to. Why would an ordinary person need access to the arts?
Mm.
And you can see that shift in pattern if you look sort of 100 years back.
Oh, yeah.
But it has always, I mean, if you look at history, art has been only for the rich and science as well.
But if you like put the questions that like the headline of this conference, art is the container for free thinking. Do you think that it can contain free thinking right now in Europe? Does it seem like it's going to survive? Or
My concern is for nurturing free thinking in children so that they go out into the world and have the capacity to change it. So I see it, I suppose, in quite a long-term kind of process.
and then you'd have to defend art's place in schools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I've come up with cognitive arguments, because that's the way forward with that.
Yeah, okay, but thank you very much. And we'll get back to you in this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.